I now call to order the regular scheduled meeting of the Board of Zoning Appeals. Notice to the public of the time, date, place, and agenda of the meeting was given by publishing a legal notice in the May 29th, 2026 Aiken Standard. Notice to contiguous property owners were mailed and public notice signs were posted on the properties where action by the board was requested on or before May 29th, 2026. Also, notices of the meeting were sent on or by June 19th, 2026 for posting on the city webpage and to the city clerk for posting on the municipal building notice board at least 24 hours before the meeting. Agenda sheets were mailed or emailed to interested parties. It is unlawful for any person giving testimony to this board to knowingly provide false information according to section 22-9 of the Aiken Municipal Code. Each infraction is a separate offense with a penalty of up to 30 days in jail and or a $1,092.50 fine. Meetings are public forums in which many opinions are expressed and the business of the city must be conducted. As such, disciplined, honorable, and professional decorum is paramount. Courteous and respectful communication is required. During public hearings, all questions and statements from the public shall be directed to the chair. If you wish to speak, raise your hand and the chair will recognize you. Please approach the podium and state your name and address. In order to allow an opportunity for everyone who wishes to address the Board of Zoning Appeals, speakers should limit their comments to the subject being discussed. Each speaker will be given 5 minutes to address an issue and may only address an issue once unless questions from the board are posed to the speaker. Moving to the approval of the minutes to the board, you have received copies of the regular meeting minutes from May 26, 2026. Are there any corrections or additions? Yes.
You look at page 3. At the very bottom, it says, Board Member Duke stated that there is a precedent set for encroaching structures to be taken down. First of all, there are never precedents set, and I'm not exactly sure what that is supposed to say. But I did mention that there was a company that built a house on the neighbor's property by accident, and they had to take it down. But I wouldn't say that was a precedent that was set.
To the city, as far as corrections to the minutes, do we need to make a motion to amend that, or should we reference the video recording of the meeting to clarify it?
I mean, regardless, they'll need to be amended or corrected in the official record, so, yeah. Probably would need to. That's what is needed for clarification purposes, then we would need to go back and change that.
Okay. So for the record, to state for the minutes, do you want to make a clarification statement as to how it would read?
I made a comment that there was a house built on the neighbor's property and it was made to be taken down, but that is not a precedent. So I don't know what it could say. Any suggestions?
Just eliminate the word precedent?
You could say that there was a home encroaching.
But that example that you spoke of, was that in that neighborhood or just a different?
No, that was just in general.
Okay.
It was supposed to let the person know they just can't build something going past the lines or whatever.
Yeah, we can go back and put in a more verbatim rather than using the word precedent.
Okay.
Yeah,
And,
just get rid of that word precedent.
and would we add the minutes from that previous meeting to the next meeting if there is one in July for approval then?
I would think so, yeah.
Okay.
Thank you. I make a motion that the minutes be accepted unless there are any other corrections.
You may want to amend that to say that the minutes,
With the amendment.
yeah, will be amended. Okay. So we have a motion. Does anybody second?
Second.
Board Member Brecht seconds the motion for the amended minutes to be reviewed at the July meeting. These minutes have been properly motioned and seconded as amended. Do we have any further discussion? Hearing none, those in favor of the said amended motion, raise their right hand. Any opposed? We have one abstention as Board Member Doherty was absent. Moving on to old business, we have the final orders. I believe these are signed. Pass those on to you. They have been circulated for signature. They're coming back to you, Max. Moving on to new business. At this point in the meeting, I would like to announce my abstention from this application. Vice Chair Brecht is going to be taking over, and I have filed the abstaining order with the city. But I will be back.
Will you gavel the meeting closed?
I will gavel the meeting closed,
Okay.
yes.
All right, under new business, I would like to call your attention to application number 26-92001, special exception request from Megan Connor Timmerman to permit a hair and nail services at an established medical spa located at 1518 Two Notch Road Southeast, zoned limited business, tax parcel number 12205200003. To the city, has this been posted?
Yes, it has.
Okay. Were there any inquiries that you wish to share with the board?
The planning department did not receive any comments or inquiries regarding the request.
All right, you can proceed with your presentation.
The subject property, 1518 Two Notch Road, is approximately 0.48 acres in area and zoned limited business, LB. The property was recently rezoned from LP to LB by City Council in 2026. It was approximately two months ago. The property was purchased by the applicant in 2024 and is currently utilized as a medical spa. The building was built in 1991 and is approximately 3,465 square feet in area. In conjunction with the rezoning requests approved by City Council, the applicant is proposing adding hair and nail services to the already established medical spa business. The applicant is not proposing any changes to the external configuration of the site, nor any changes to the footprint of the building as part of the request. As previously noted, the request is for a special exception pursuant to Section 3.1.6 of the city's zoning ordinance. On lots zoned LB, other retail sales and services, including personal service-oriented uses, are permitted only by special exception on lots zoned LB. Information provided by the applicant about the request is contained in Exhibit A of your agenda packet. As depicted on the attached zoning map found in Exhibit B, there is some variation in the immediate neighborhood regarding development in the area. Adjacent land uses are generally a mix of neighborhood-scale commercial and residential along this portion of Two Notch Road. In particular, on the east side, there are additional neighborhood-scale businesses to the south, and we have a mix of residential as you proceed north. Now, there is an exception. Some public recreation uses across the street to the west and southwest. I believe this is Carolina Bay Park here, owned and operated by the city, and we have Odell Weeks. So that's kind of more on the west side of Two Notch Road. Generally, the commercial and residential uses are going to be on this east side here. Exhibit E in your agenda packet contains photographs of the property taken by staff depicting the existing conditions of the property. This is just a photograph of our notice. This is the primary entrance to the site. This is the building itself. This is the neighboring commercial business to the south. As you can see, both are sort of more residential in character in terms of the design of the structures, which is also typical of LB and LP uses, again, kind of illustrating that commercial neighborhood scale commercial use. These are the properties to the north. I believe these are residential in character, but they are screened from the business by this fence and additional vegetation along the perimeter. And as mentioned, this is to the west, so this is the Carolina Bay recreational use there. So there are no entrances on this side, I believe. They're going to be primarily on the south and the west side, but as you can see, it's undeveloped there and used for recreational purposes. The planning staff's evaluation of the request, as well as the applicant's response to the required 11 special exception criteria, can be found starting on page 1 of your agenda packet. This does conclude staff's presentation. If there are any questions, be happy to answer.
Do we have any questions for the city from the board?
Yes, I have one. Okay, to the city, this is just an additional service to an existing business, not a second business within a current,
That's, excuse me, yeah, that's my understanding.
regardless of whether it was common ownership or not. This is just an expansion of services.
Correct, and it's my understanding it's basically considered an accessory use. The primary use will still be the medical spa.
Okay. So, just out of curiosity, the existing business has to have so many parking spots, correct? At what point does an expansion of services get into the question of whether additional parking spots are needed, that type of thing?
Yeah, that would only really trigger if the site or the structure itself were to be altered.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right.
To that question, does that include the number of employees?
I'm not sure how many. I believe they are adding some additional employees.
I mean, isn't there a limit to the population within a building under certain?
Yeah, that would come more from building code, though. So I'm not familiar with those regulations. But yeah, presumably they're built to that commercial code already. But we'd have to double check on that.
Why do beauty topics or subjects, why do they get a bad rap in zoning? I've seen other zoning applications where it was either for a salon or nails, and they always seem to get a bad rap. Is there any reason why?
Yeah, I'm not sure. I think from our ordinance perspective, they are typically found in your more traditional commercial districts rather than your limited business or limited professional. I have a sneaky suspicion that's just because of the anticipated amount of traffic that would be generated. Typically with these limited business and limited professional, they're again on that neighborhood commercial scale. So they serve as a transitional district between more high intensity commercial districts and residential districts. So typically they're held to a little bit higher standard in terms of minimizing the impact to neighboring residential properties. That's just a guess, though. I mean, for example, like a barber shop, walk-ins, they don't necessarily take appointments, so there's potentially more traffic generated than some of these medical offices that are by appointment only. That's a guess, though, as to why they're not explicitly permitted in LB or LP. But yeah, my guess is it's to minimize the impact to neighboring residential properties.
Okay. And I have one more question. What is Exhibit D, the Economic Development Element Strategies? I have never seen that before.
Yeah, so that's part of our comprehensive plan. As part of the special exception request, there are a number of questions related to the criteria that, address or should be addressed relative to the comprehensive plan. So that's the component that is most applicable in this particular case. There's other sections in there, for example, land use, resiliency, transportation. But since this is primarily concerned with a commercial request, that's why it was included.
Is this something new? Or has it always been in the comprehensive
Yeah,
plan?
it's been in there.
What, it's new or it's always?
No, I'm sorry, yes, it's been in there. Yeah,
Okay,
since
I've
it was
never
adopted.
Haven't seen it before.
Yeah, we recently updated the comprehensive plan, but I believe it was previously adopted, I'm gonna say maybe 2016, 2017.
Okay,
Yeah. The only component that was added for that particular was the resiliency component in the update, but the rest of it has been there since the initial adoption.
okay. I apologize to the board for cutting in front of any of you two. If you had questions,
No.
do either one of you have any questions? Okay. Then let's move on. Thank you. The applicant and the representative, William, do we have any questions from the board? No, the applicant or their representative may make their presentation. Is the applicant here? Oh, I know, yes, pardon me, please. I have one more question.
Sure.
Just for clarification's sake, again, what is the difference between a variance and a special exception?
Yeah, so variances are typically to a set standard found in the zoning ordinance, where special exceptions are more concerned with allowing additional uses on the property.
Okay.
So, for example, we've had a number of applications where they were seeking permission to have horses as an additional use on the property rather than seeking a variance to the height of a fence or the distance of a setback. So those are sort of set standards that can be varied. Special exception is to allow for an additional use on a property typically.
Thank you. If the representative, the applicant, you may make a statement or presentation, or you can just answer questions from the board. But if you would like, you can state your name and address.
My name is Joanne Gannell, and I'm an employee at Avello Med Spa, and I'm here to answer any questions that you may have. I do not have a presentation. I heard some of your questions, especially about employees and parking, and to that point, we are all part-time employees. We are not full-time employees.
Okay. Thank you. So you are not the applicant?
No, sir.
Okay. And your name again, please?
It's Joanne Gannell, Gunnell.
Okay. And your address, did you state that already?
No, I did not. My home address?
Please do.
It's 253 Commonwealth Way in Aiken.
Okay. Thank you. Do anybody on the board have any questions?
Yes, I do. Hello, Ms. Cannell. Well, can you describe a little bit what the medical spa services that you're currently performing there now?
Yes. The spa is owned by Dr. Alyssa Degnan, who also has the MD VIP practice over in the Woodside Executive area, and she is the owner of the Avello Med Spa. She performs the injectables for face, Botox, fillables. She does, let's see what else. Medically, we do different faces. One of them is called Somacell, if you really want to get into it. Mostly all facials and injectables. The other staff members do the facials. We have a masseuse. We have 3 masseuses on board. 2 of them are contractors, and the other one is part-time. And as I said, we are all part-time. I'm part of the front desk and reception area, along with someone else who shares those duties with me. The other people on board are all estheticians with over 20 years' experience. Same with the masseuse that's on board. And those are the types of services we give.
So what's the plan for additional personnel to support this potential hair and nail
Yes,
expansion?
and that is hair and nail. We would like to add 2 hairdressers with over 20 years' experience. And when you come into our place, it's not the large salon that you're all used to seeing. They are going to be in their own rooms doing this service, each individual hairdresser. Once again, they are going to be the contractors, so they're not going to be there every day. And then where our plan is to have them come in, have their own room, have their hair cut, styled, dyed, whatever it may be. Then they're going to be taken to another room where their hair is washed and then color applied or whatever is necessary. But there's only 2 people that we would like to add on to this.
And is the plan for this, I think I read in the presentation, that by appointment only, or are you welcoming walk-ins? How's that
We
aspect work?
do not allow walk-ins because of the medical environment, and we do have just appointments only.
Okay. And they'd be standalone. This isn't for existing medical spa people to go over. This could be either or,
It
correct?
can be either or,
Okay.
absolutely. They can branch out and try a different service, absolutely.
Okay. Okay. I have no further questions.
Does anyone else have a question?
Good.
So clarify for me the medical nature of this, injections in the face, right?
Dr. Degnan is the only one who's allowed to do that.
Okay, and so the pedicure and doing the nails is just
Licensed cosmetologists.
making them just kind of putting a period at the end of the sentence and making them
Yes,
feel good as they leave.
absolutely.
Okay. All right. Do you have any other further statements?
Unless you have other questions for me.
Okay, no questions from the board. I have one more. Is there a anticipated increase in the staff with this service? How many more employees would be? 2?
Just 2.
Okay, 2 people.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. All right. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Do we have others to speak to the board about that? Final call. Seeing and hearing none, the board will entertain a motion so we can enter a period of discussion.
I make a motion that application 26-92001, the special exception be approved to permit the hair and nail services at 1518 Two Notch Road.
Well, if that's a complete motion, I will second that, I guess with the following conditions.
Okay, what's that?
Well, just the general approval is granted, just kind of finishing the motion out.
Call for the vote?
Let's enter a period of discussion, talk about this.
Oh, I thought we had kind of covered all this.
I was just curious if we needed to have the 3 special conditions on the motion or not. Is that okay, I guess?
Those are just recommendations, but yeah, I
The
would
criteria?
recommend that be recorded at the ROD office, but as far as the rest of
Okay.
it, yeah, that can be up to you
Okay.
to add or omit.
All right. Well, I mean, I'm certainly in favor of it. Since the zoning's been changed from limited professional to limited business, and it would already allow, and this is what was kind of a game changer for me. I mean, stuff like dine in and take out, that would already be allowed under limited business zoning. I mean, I certainly think hair and nails is married a lot closer to the medical spa practice that they got going on now with facials and stuff like that than dine in or takeout. So, based on that high jump bar, I'm good with it. And given it doesn't impact the appearance or structure itself, the building they're housed in, limited additional employees, parking and traffic seem to be fine. I think it's a good deal.
My main problem with it is, you raise some good points, but the application, nowhere in it has the applicant clearly stated, other than yes or no, to the answers. I like to hear what they say. It can convince me. It can demonstrate their knowledge or the gravity of their application or their proposal. And in this case, I've got to judge against the criteria. And in those criteria, there are nothing that really, there's more inadequate answers that prevent me from addressing them. Yes, no, yes, no, yes, no. I can't say as I can support this on the grounds of using the criteria.
I don't necessarily disagree with that. I certainly went off the staff response to how the staff felt the criteria were met. The applicant clearly feels the criteria were met. In my own independent view, the criteria have been met, so I didn't necessarily need the applicants convincing me of that. So based on that, I'm still good. Although I agree with the premise, you would like, and maybe a recommendation to the city, maybe yes, no answers need to be embellished a little bit.
Yes,
When the application gets turned in, that would probably be helpful, but
and
if I were on the fence with this, or something wasn't clearly met, in my opinion, and the staff's opinion, at least according to their response, I would have some caution, but.
I wish the applicant was here tonight that could have maybe elaborated on some of these questions, or the questions that I have about her application.
I do have one other thing. I didn't put it in the motion, but it's only gonna be 2 additional employees. And I think we need to, maybe I can take my motion back. We need to limit it to that. I mean, what if they decide to bring in 20 additional employees?
Just like the city said, I mean, as far as that concerned, I think there's more of a code issue. Maybe not relevant to what's being asked now. I do agree with your statements as well. I kind of went off the staff, just as you did, went off the staff responses. And I also looked at the criteria of the questions. Some of the past responses, there was like an explanation versus just a yes or no. But I kind of, just looked at the staff response. I looked at what the city has already done. So I guess the additional information kind of just, helped me make a, to give it a yes, from my perspective. So, but I do agree with you that there needs to be some additional explanation, of
You
how
know,
they are
we
meeting.
have to judge from the criteria
Yeah,
and what
absolutely.
is presented.
Absolutely.
And I found a sorry amount of information. How are we going to handle, do you want to propose changing the,
Only if my second will agree, but I just
what
think
to
we need
add?
limit-
It should not go above,
Right, and if they want to add more, they need to come back to us, because it could end up causing all kinds of traffic issues there.
I would concur. Do you think that is necessary?
I mean, you can condition however you feel is necessary. My concern with that would be difficult from a zoning perspective to enforce. I mean, we wouldn't necessarily know how many employees they
I know,
have.
but I think that if the traffic started getting really bad, someone were to make a complaint, then the city could go in and check. Is this Peggy Fitch's old office?
I'm sorry?
Do you know if this is Peggy Fitch's old office?
No, it is not. It's next door.
Okay.
Ms. Gunno,
Okay, we
where do you guys park? You don't have to get back up.
There's parking in the back and parking in the front.
Okay. All right. How would you amend your motion?
Did it be limited to the number of employees that they presented at the meeting? 2 additional employees,
Or up to, let's say, 5?
if that's what. you think
Not
is-
to exceed?
Okay,
Well, I don't know if that's. I think that's creating, as Max said, enforcement problems.
and just.
But you're right with, if all of a sudden 20 employees show up and it's creating, a problem, well, they're legally, they can do that, by your motion, the language in your motion. But if you want to amend that, we can, if you think it's important.
I do, because I don't want that to become a super busy area.
So they wouldn't even be here if they were gonna turn this into a takeout restaurant in there, and there would certainly be no limit on the employee. You see what I'm saying? This is an additional usage that they're asking for, when they would be perfectly entitled to. I mean, to me, opening a taco stand inside for takeout would be a bigger concern for traffic, and yet that's allowed under limited business in that building right now. So I'm not too concerned that all of a sudden this is gonna become a 15 or 20 employee massive nail hair salon. I guess there's always the potential for that, but in absence of the city's recommendation to best way to word some sort of maximum or cap to that, I don't know. We either just accept do we try to work something in or not?
Yeah, again, I mean, it's strictly speaking, you're allowed to condition it however you see fit, as long as it is enforceable from a zoning perspective. Typically, the zoning ordinance does not enforce the number of employees at a commercial establishment nor capacity in a building. That comes more from building code. Typically, how zoning would enforce something like that would be if there is an issue with parking, like on-street parking were to occur, not likely on 2 Notch, for example, but if there was not enough parking on the site, there was overfill, overflow, that would be something we could enforce, saying, okay, you need to redo your parking calculations or something like that. So you may want to condition it on, you know, any additional building code requirements and or parking requirements as necessary. Because yeah, I don't know that the zoning official can enforce, like, well, there's 14 employees, now there's 20, i.e. the special exception is void. So I'm not sure that that's something we can enforce, but we can certainly enforce parking, or building code requirements. So that might
You
be.
could do that without a change to the motion.
Say it again?
You could do that without a change to the motion, like if people started parking on the street.
Well, you may want to condition that as part of it.
Just say as long as they fulfill parking and,
As long as all parking requirements and building code requirements are met
are met.
Okay,
as part of the, you know, supplemental use or something like that.
That covers you.
okay, we'll take your wording, thank you.
Okay. For the record, might want to formally do that for the
Yeah,
record, though.
do you want to restate your motion then, please?
Make a motion that this special exception be approved and that all parking and building
Code requirements.
codes requirements are met. Anything else?
There are two other conditions there, but again,
It's
I would
recorded.
recommend that we record it with the county ROD office.
Right,
I did write in there that it shall run with the owner rather than the land, but if you feel it's appropriate to be,
it shall run with the owner and recorded at the ROD office.
I'll second that.
Okay, all in favor, raise your right hand. Opposed? The variance or the special exception passes. Now, where's Karen? She's got to gavel the meeting closed.
She should be able to hear us back there.
Hmm?
I think she can hear us.
She is. Let's have a motion to close the meeting.
Make a motion that the meeting be adjourned.
Yes.
Our president, our chair comes back in. If she doesn't come in, it's still gonna be adjourned.
Exactly.
I think we'll have a chair.
There she is. Did you hear that motion?
I heard nothing. I was doing my homework.
We've already made a motion to be adjourned. We're waiting for the.
Oh, excellent. So, we've made a motion. There's been a second.
Second.
Excellent.
There
We're
we go.
adjourned.